Good afternoon. Today is the 22nd of April, and rather than a very vague vlog with a camera pointing at my face, I'm actually with Mr Coleman. And Mr Coleman is driving the 460.
No.
Complete with rattly dash. We're just on the way to Coventry station because this car is actually going to have some work over the next few weeks. So I've made it to Mr Coleman's house in the 460. Mr Coleman, being an expert 1990s Volvo mechanic, has identified a couple of issues. One of them being that this, oh my gosh, coolant expansion
Radiator
tank
it's
cap
expansion cap's leaking.
That's, you can hear it. It's a horrible squeaking noise. The engine's actually okay. There's a few problems with it, and they're all mainly due to lack of maintenance. It's getting worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
The HT leads possibly might need changing, I don't know. There is a leak in here from the cam cover gasket, but that's really normal. I'm not sure we're going to do anything about that, to be honest. The biggest problem though, and this is why the car is running so poorly, is this. It's the intake pipe is completely split. We suspect this actually might be the original one, and that's why it runs so badly when you first start it. I should get better fuel economy if that's done as well, because it's just leaking. Mr Coleman's yeah, it's a bit of a problem. So this apparently is the same as an 850, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult to actually find that particular cap. The rest of the engine is actually not too bad. There is a leak from the sump, which you can't really see, it's down at the bottom, but that's really common for them to leak on one side of the sump, and this is no exception. So the car was actually written off. We don't know exactly when. It was some point in the last 20 years. And there is a very slight colour difference between this corner here and the rest of the car. It's so imperceptibly small you can't really see it. But the bumper has actually shown where the impact was, which is on this sort of corner. But I've looked at the boot floor, and actually underneath this car is really, really good. It's virtually no rust on it. The only rust is this bit here. That just needs sort of cleaning out, and maybe just a little bit of hammerite or something on there.
Take this sill trim off here and put some stuff on there.
So unlike a lot of these, the boot floor's good. That's all fine. We've actually got a little something to put on the car. I was given this by Mike, who's the chap who runs for the local section of Volvo Owners Club. This is actually some extra reflectors, and it's a genuine Volvo part for a 440 or 460. And just where these are blank at the moment on this side here and there, just gives you an extra bit of safety at night. We might actually put that on.
Yeah. I would.
So the boots are actually very, very good. The struts aren't the best. They're sort of okay at the moment, but you can see where the previous owner has sort of put some
Bog roll.
yeah, it's like a sort of kitchen roll holder thing on there. We're not going to do anything about that. But a lot of these things on this car, we're not actually going to do anything about. The exhaust is not good. It doesn't actually look too bad from here, but the back box has absolutely had it. I'll put a photograph of the hole in it. It's split all the way along the seam because this car used to live in southwest London. This used to do short journeys, so it's completely gone. This side actually is pretty good. There's no rust on this side or anything. These wheel trims are a disgrace, and they are going to have some attention because they are awful. Yeah, so we're going to do something about them. Someone has offered me some Volvo 480 ES alloy wheels, which look really nice. But the thing is, we've just had a look, and
I wouldn't.
But the tyre that we've actually got in the boot is the original spare, never been on the car. It dates from about 1990, because this is a January 91 car, and the spare is actually in superb condition. Although it's very old, it's never been on the car. It's absolutely fine. So rather than actually buying a new tyre,
there's absolutely nothing wrong with
we're gonna put this on and just use the other one, which has, I think, about 2mm of tread on it. The other tyre. The tyres on this car were quite bad. They're just inflated really poorly, while the handling was just sort of all over the place. But they're actually all right. They're quite good tyres. They date from 2011.
Really?
Yeah, this one for some reason has a lot more wear than the others. I don't know why. I think they've been rotating the tyres around the car, and that's just where it's ended up. But It needs a cam belt, it needs an automatic transmission fluid service, it needs just a general service, some new plugs, maybe a distributor cap.
Low suspension arms.
Yeah, oh yeah, the suspension, it does wander still all over the road, even if you inflate the tyres properly, so it needs some lower suspension arms. But the suspension's ridiculous in this car, look at this. It's ridiculous, particularly at the back. The back is even worse, but this is kind of what they were like. The GLTs and the turbos had much firmer suspension than this. This does not. It's nice and comfortable though. It handles the potholes and things okay. So what we'll do in a sec is we'll go for a drive with Mr Coleman, who's going to take me to the station, and then he will discuss exactly how this car drives. The speedo is not working properly. I'm going to actually probably have to get a little thing to put just here, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. One of the ways to get it to work is actually to put it up to 70 miles an hour and suddenly it comes back into life. It's very strange. Then, you know, the whole instrument cluster there, it's all sort of flaking off the paint. It's really common on these. But you can hear the exhaust is blowing, which is not good. It's just a back box. And the suspension bushes do need changing. It's going to go stop at this dodgy roundabout here. And the dash is rattling. It's rattling like crazy. You actually can see the insulation sort of gradually falling out of it. They're really, really common for this. Oh, and the suspension is really soft as well. But it's not pulling as well as it should anyway because of the air leak on the intake hose, which you've seen. One of the things you can do is put it into neutral when you've stopped and stop the dash rattling, which does help a little bit. Don't know how much you're able to do about this dash rattle. It's so common on these cars. The early 440s and 460s and 480s, we might actually just kind of leave that. Other than that, so how is it driving?
It's driving okay. It's a bit like a week-old salad at the minute, but we'll get it back. It'll be fine. Put an exhaust on it. We'll do a load of work on the engine. Put a timing belt on it. Have a look at the brakes. Make sure they're all right. Probably do a brake fluid change. I'm going to service the auto gearbox as well. I've got all the filters and stuff in for that. We've got a block washer jet, which is easy enough done. There's a man in the road. He's drunk. Yes,
it's a bit early for that, isn't it, sir?
Yeah. Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So, fair play to him. But yeah, so we're going to, I'll have it here for a good few weeks, and hopefully we'll be able to transform it, make it into a bit of a better car than what it is now, and hopefully, mate, you'll be able to enjoy it.
Yes, I mean, the GLE's never had the thermal suspension. Those were sort of reserved for the GLE and the turbo. And the 480s, I think, are even stiffer than this. This is not. I mean, you can see this is actually moving, but it's okay. It's nice and comfortable. We are in the beige leather interior. Yeah. Even the sunroof works, but I'm very loath to touch that because it dates from 1991, and you know, I'm a bit funny about sunroofs in old cars. I'm going to have to leave this car with Mr Coleman for a bit, but it's in very safe hands. It will come back better. And he might even be able to sort out those horrendous wheel trims as well.
Yeah, I've got some paint floating about for those, I think.
Yeah. So we just slip it into neutral when that happens. That's just what we do. It doesn't sound very good with that blown exhaust. It will sound better when it's actually got a new back box. Fortunately, back boxes on 440s and 460s aren't actually that hard to find.
No, they're not.
It's, considering how rare the cars are,
yeah,
it's actually quite surprising. There's all little minor differences between them.
Yeah, most of the back boxes are the same unless it's a turbo or a diesel. The problem is finding the centre sections for them, because I think when I did a load of cross-referencing and part hunting and that, I think I found 10 different centre sections for it, depending on what make, model year, cat, non-cat, carb, manual, auto, diesel, petrol, turbo, you name it. So they are out there, but as I say, most of the rear ends are the same. The only choice is because it's got a separate little bolt-on tailpipe at the end. I think this one's got the wrong one on it because it sticks out too far. So when I get the old back box off, which is, well, I've got the new back box ordered, but I've just got to order separately the correct tailpipe for it. So yeah, we'll get it right.
Yes, well, I think for now that's it, viewers. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like what's written in the comment below, and we shall see you soon for more illuminating information. Lloyd Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below.